not in there.
Okay.
Look through it.
All right.
No, you didn't give it to me.
Okay. I don't
It's
need
the one
it.
with the
I
green.
haven't- I haven't yet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to get on with the program. First, could you please stand for the national anthem? All right, and on with the program. But I would be remiss if I didn't remind everyone that tomorrow is Mother's Day. So make sure you honor your mom. Welcome, everybody, for being here tonight. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame was founded in 1969, and this is our 55th Enshrinement Banquet. The purpose of the hall is to select the greatest sports figures to come out of the city of Lorain, and then to honor these inductees with a banquet to let everyone know of their greatness. There have been 415 individual inductees to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, and we've had 42 great teams that have been inducted. You can look on page 3 through 7 in your program to see a list of all these inductees and all of the teams that have been inducted. Some of those athletes are here with us tonight. Would all those men and women who have been previously inducted please stand up? And please remain standing. Please remain standing. Now, would all of those who have been inducted with any one of our great teams also stand up. As you see, the city of Lorain has had a wealth of great talent in our sports figures. Thank you. Now that was the past. Let's get on with the present. I would like to point out that each inductee, as they stand before giving their acceptance speech, is going to see videos on the screen. All these videos are congratulations to them from people who were important in their life. We've tried to keep it a secret for most of the inductees who is going to be giving these congratulations. They are meant for them, but we can enjoy them also. Some past inductees have said that the videos from their family members, coaches, or old teammates were some of the best part of their banquet experience. Now I would like to introduce this current class of inductees. Would the inductees please stand when I call your name? Amanda Berry and her husband Randy. Joe Dominguez and Sheila. With 6 tables out there, that's why we always should get a bowler. Our third inductee, Dr. Jeff Galini, was unable to be here tonight. He gives his regrets. He will be represented by his sister Nancy Kalasco and brother-in-law Jim Kalasco. Chris Nagy-Sally and her husband Chad. To my right, Tony Flores and his wife Katie. Mike Gallagher and his wife Shar. Kathy McConnell and her niece Michaela. Thank you. Thank you. Now, to continue with our program, what I'd like to do now is call up our President, Larry Reardon.
Good evening. I'd like to express our thanks for all your family members, friends, former athletes who were participating in sports as these individuals were excelling in their craft. Thank you for being here. We're going to make this short because we have a long evening, so this evening wouldn't have started or been able to happen if it wasn't for our committee members. So at this time, can I have all the committee members please stand and stay standing until we see that everyone is here. There's a few in the outside, Nancy Bauer, Ricky Hands. If it wasn't for these people, this evening wouldn't attend or happen. As you can see, we are not the youngest group. We need to get younger because it's just passing by. Our age is getting older. So we need help. So we may have some advisory positions available. If you're interested in anything like that, there are applications online, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. We'd love to see what we can do about making this group younger. Thank you. You can sit down, please. They're over in the corner. If I can have the Elyria Sports Hall of Fame and the representatives of our newspapers, if they're here. Thank you so much. You had a great banquet last week. We were able to attend, so we always reciprocate to take care of each other. Okay, we're going to get started a little quickly, but I'm going to introduce a gentleman who I believe graduated in 2067. No, I'm 1967. You look young, but you're not that young. Okay. Jack has been a defense attorney. He's been on every board that probably goes across the state. He's so recognized, he's so knowledgeable, and he has turned his craft over to the mayor. But of all, Jack, I want to ask you if you remember this person.
Yes, I do.
A Lanny Urso?
Yes.
Yes. Jack's greatest accomplishment was being voted most sincere by his graduating class. So at this time, if I can get you to come up and make a few remarks, we're proud to have you here. We're proud to have you as our mayor. Thank you.
So Larry wanted to get some younger people involved with the Sports Hall of Fame, so I guess he wanted to make the mayor younger also. But anyhow, good evening, everyone. It's a tremendous honor to be here with you tonight as we celebrate the newest class of inductees into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. This evening is always one of my favorites, not just because we get to relive some of our city's greatest sports memories, but because it brings out the very best of Lorain's spirit, pride, perseverance, and yes, a bit of friendly trash talk from rival high schools. Of course, the real credit tonight goes to our inductees, individuals who gave everything they had on the field, the court, the mat, the track, and the bowling alley. You've inspired generations in Lorain, and your legacy is about more than wins and records. It's about discipline, determination, and heart. And maybe a few pulled hamstrings also. Just this past week, I had the privilege of meeting with our Lieutenant Governor, Coach Jim Tressel, in Columbus. He reminded all of us of something profound. While we often honor the men and women who served in World War II as the greatest generation, Coach Tressel said we should also honor the parents who raised them, the ones who instilled the grit, the values, and the humility that prepared their children to meet that moment. That message fits perfectly tonight because those same values passed down in our homes, in our schools, and in our ball fields are what shape the champions we celebrate here in Lorain. Whether you were a state champion or the coach who saw greatness in others, your contributions live on in every young athlete growing up in our city today. To the families, coaches, and teammates who support our honorees, thank you. Behind every Hall of Famer is a circle of support, and at least one very loud parent in the stands yelling, "Ref, you need glasses." And to those of us who still talk about the good old days, like they happened last week, tonight reminds me of those glory days, before adult responsibilities, before sore knees, and before realizing that running the bases is a lot easier when you're not out of breath tying your shoes. In all seriousness, this Hall of Fame is more than a showcase of athletic excellence. It's a celebration of our community. It reminds me that the values we learn in sports, teamwork, resilience, and never giving up, are the same values that move cities like ours forward. Again, congratulations to the class of 2025. You've earned your place in Lorain's proud history, and you'll continue to inspire us for years to come. Thank you, and may your victories, both past and future, always remind us of what's possible when we give our all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Bradley. Now, on to the scholarship part of our program. Would the Ullin recipients please come to the podium? The J. Ed Ullin Memorial Award was started in 1974 to recognize outstanding seniors, male and female scholar athletes from all of our participating schools. I welcome Mr. Jim Allen Popeil to present the scholarships this year. How about if we just...
Thank you very much, Tom. And it's an honor to follow the mayor, who still loves to play baseball. This past week, he was playing some baseball, but had to leave the game because of an injured knee. And so somebody else was running for mayor. I'm here to introduce the fine people who are winners of the J. Ed Ullin Award this year. J. Ed Ullin was the executive director of the Lorain Chamber of Commerce, who was very active in the formation of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame in the late 1960s. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Ullin due to a sudden illness in the early 1970s. Mr. Ullin had made such an impact on the local sports scene that a Memorial Financial Award was established in his name in 1974 to honor the top seniors at Lorain's high schools who have excelled not only in sports, but also in the classroom and who have been active in the community. It is with pleasure that we present, first of all, this year's boys being honored. From Clearview High School, Josiah Longo. In football, Josiah won a host of awards, including third team All-Ohio in Division IV. He was a key member of the Clippers football team 4 years in all. His junior year, they won 2 playoff games. In wrestling, he totaled over 100 career victories. In the classroom, he has a GPA of 3.893, ranking number 7 in a class of 89. He plans to attend John Carroll University. Josiah Longo of Clearview. Unfortunately, Josiah can't be with us tonight, but he's still part of the crew, so we'll welcome him spiritually, so we'll say that, okay? Josiah Longo of Clearview. From Lorain High School, Luke Wilson. In football, Luke was third team All-Ohio Division I. Luke was a winner in football and basketball. In football, he was a key member of the Titan team that won the undisputed Lake Erie League championship. While in basketball, he was a starter on the team that pulled off a truly rare feat, something that hardly ever happens, defeating 3 league champions during the regular season: Garfield Heights of the Lake Erie, Lakewood of the Cleveland West, and Elyria of the Southwestern. Academically, Luke has a 3.2 GPA and ranks number 75 of 354 seniors. He'll be continuing at Division II University of Charleston. Luke Wilson of Lorain High. And now to announce the male winner of the J. Ed Ullin Award this year, Josiah Longo of Clearview, who is not here, but he'll still be the winner. Now to introduce our female honorees. From Lorain High, Simone Witt. Simone was only the 3rd girl from Lorain City Schools ever to win a state championship in track, following Kermetta Folmar and Lillian Sayas, who both have already been inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Simone placed first in the Division I shot put. She finished second at state last year. She was a starter in basketball, earning first-team All-Lake Erie League honors. Simone's GPA is 3.2 and is 78th in a class of 354. Simone will be moving on to Marshall University. Simone Witt of Lorain High. And for you people who watch YouTube on television, there's a program called Titan News, and she's also an excellent newscaster in television, Simone Witt. We are also pleased to present Annalise Garcia of Clearview. Miss Garcia has participated in track, cross country, and soccer, and has been a valued member of the Clearview Marching Band. Her GPA is 4.333, good for number 1 in a class of 89. She plans to continue her education at Lorain County Community College, followed by Cleveland State University. Annalise Garcia of Clearview. And we have something unusual. This year, the voting committee was 50-50 in favor of each of the girls. So we have 2 winners this year in the female category. Simone Witt of Lorain High and Annalise Garcia of Clearview. Okay. We would like to thank you, too, for your continued leadership to Jim Allen Sports, now in its 55th year on local radio. So 55 is the magic number tonight. 55th Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Banquet, and I have had the pleasure and honor and to be involved with local sports on the radio for 55 years now. Thank you very much. Times for all our Friday reports are in the Cool Cat WDOW and Lorain County Country WOBL. And those times, when we're on Fridays now, are listed in the ad in the program this evening. It's always a pleasure to be with all you great people and talking over old memories with so many tonight about them listening back in the 1970s and 80s when they were growing up. So it's been a wonderful career, and enjoyed it very much, and I sincerely thank everyone for their support all these years. Thanks again, and congratulations to our J. Ed Ullin winners. And Luke Wilson, if you would stop by. And Simone, I'll get this one, it's okay. And Annalise. Okay, bye. Jessica, gonna see Josiah. Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll push you back. You got
Thank you, Jim. It's been a tradition that the winner of the 2 scholarships, male and female, would like to give a acceptance speech and say thank you. And I don't know if Ms. Garcia knew the dress code, but I think she has to get to a prom. So I'm gonna let her go first.
Good evening. It is an honor to win the scholarship. I'm very thankful for everyone who got me to where I am today and to be the person that I am. I would like to thank my parents for their support and love. I'd also like to thank my teachers and my coaches for mentoring me throughout all my years of my sports and my extracurriculars. Just thank you again. It was an honor.
Hi, good evening. I would like to thank everybody and thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame for presenting me with the J. Ed Ullin Award. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, girls. If you'd like to see a list of all those past recipients of this award, please turn to page 34 in your program. It explains a little bit more about the Ullin, and it gives a list of all of the recipients that we've had. Back in the beginning, there was always Lorain High, Admiral King, Southview, Lorain Catholic, and Clearview. And as the years progressed, we've lost some schools, so now we're down to strictly Lorain High students along with Clearview. I think it's getting time for dinner. So, a little later in the program, you're going to see some people talking about possibly the greatest track star that ever came out of the city of Lorain, Otis Jenkins. But right now, I'm going to bring Reverend Jenkins to our podium to say grace for dinner. Otis. Come on, y'all, don't stop coming.
Amen. Thank you for the hand clap of praise. But before we get started, let's give God a hand clap of praise. Amen. Amen. Because if it had not been for God, I wouldn't be able to stand up here right now and say, thank you, Jesus. But you know, as a preacher, I have to do preacher things. And one of the things I would like to do, and then I give it a prayer and I bless the food because I'm hungry like y'all also. But I just want to read this, and I want everybody to grab hold of this because in times like these, we need Jesus, y'all. And it reads out of the 11th chapter of Matthew in the 25th verse. It says, at that time Jesus said, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and intelligent and have revealed them unto infants, which is me. Thank you, Lord. Yes, Father, for this way was well-pleasing in your sight. All things have been handed over to me by my Father, and to no one knows the Son except the Father, nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wills to reveal him. Jesus here said, come unto me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And for anybody this evening that feels that your burden is heavy, I advise you to have a little prayer with Jesus. Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come again, Lord, to say thank you for allowing us another day to still be in the land of the living, to be able to say thank you for all that you have done. And Lord, I'm praying now that you will still continue to bless. You have blessed all of us down through the years, and many of us in here, we love you, Lord. We thank you for all that you have done for us. And we thank you for our health, and we thank you for our strength. We thank you for showing us the way when we didn't know the way. Thank you for being a light for us, Lord, when we was in darkness. So I come today, Lord, just to say thank you. In the name of Jesus, I pray, and I ask you to bless this food, and we'll be more careful to give you the praise, the glory, and the honor. This I pray in Jesus' name. Amen, and thank God. Amen. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise again. Amen. Amen. Those are the things the preacher do, y'all.
Thank you, Otis. I remember the last banquet, you threatened everyone with a 2-hour speech because you weren't going to give it on Sunday. So, thank you for your brevity.
I'll be back in the end.
Dinner time, and I had to instruct people that Start on your salads, please. And someone will come around and direct the tables up to the buffets on both sides. All right? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to go to the buffet line right over here. I'll wait till all. Good job, Otis. Good job.
send them over there.
I'm not 100% sure what
I'll send it to you. I'll send the report.
Okay, took a little less than 15 minutes to serve everyone. We hope everyone's doing okay. There's plenty of food left. If you're still hungry, come on up over on this side over here, please. And please enjoy your meal and enjoy your evening. It's great to have the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame here at Germansville. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Okay, we hope everyone's still enjoying everything. You got your dessert on your tables. We want to let you know we're going to get things started here in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we're going to get things started. So if you need to use the facilities, okay, go ahead and do that now. If you need to come over and get something to drink, do that now. Okay, we want to start our program. We want to go ahead and do a great job of honoring our athletes and our teams here tonight. And we want to thank everyone so much for coming out, being a part of this wonderful program. Thank you, everyone. Remember, 5 minutes, so if you need to use the facilities, let's go ahead and do that now, okay? Thank you.
I have your attention, please? We're going to get started in about 2 to 5 minutes. If anyone needs to use the restroom, please do so. And we'll be getting the presentations going. Thank you. If we can get everyone to please take their seats.
Yeah, well, fade the black. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And then after you think, you will announce me, and I'll just sing this.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening. I'd like to wish Cliff and his staff an excellent job on serving and preparing this hall tonight. A couple other people I wanted to recognize is Brian Corey and Mike Collier, if you can please stand up. You heard the excellent bios done by these two gentlemen. Brian did it for the Lorain High School, and Mike did it for Clearview High School. They put a lot of effort towards this. And fortunately, we were able to pay it off by giving them some money for college or trade or whatever they're going to do. So we couldn't have done it without you two guys. Thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to call Tom Bauer up, and we're going to start with the Distinguished Service Award. Thank you.
All right. To start off the individual acceptance speeches, I'd like to start with our Distinguished Service Award. This award has become the Hall of Fame's most prestigious honor. It is given to a person whose commitment and hard work, both for the association and their community itself, cannot be denied. The Hall is sincerely grateful for their involvement and their dedication. Please turn to page 113 in your program to take a view of our next recipient. I would like to call Drew Parabeck to the podium to honor his grandmother, Elizabeth Nanny Parabeck.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Bauer was one of my high school football coaches, and time sure flies, doesn't it? As Coach said, I'm Drew Parabeck, and it's really wonderful to be here tonight with my mom. Not on?
Yeah, it's on. I'll just move a little closer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. With my mom, my wife Rachel, my brothers and sisters, all of them, Lori, Jimmy, Brad, and Heather, with friends like you, with teammates and coaches from the 1975 Lorain High Steelmen, and with all of you terrific athletes in this room and your families, congratulations to the new inductees. I'm honored to accept the Hall of Fame's Distinguished Service Award on behalf of my grandmother, Elizabeth Parabeck. To all the people whose lives she touched, she was known simply and lovingly as Nanny. Now you may be asking yourselves, why is the Hall of Fame giving this prestigious award to somebody who left us almost 40 years ago? If you were one of the lucky people who knew Nanny, you already know the answer to that question. And if you didn't know Nanny, let me tell you a little bit about her and why I think she is so deserving of this award. To begin, Nanny was a big fan. She was much more than that, as you will hear, but she was a big fan of the important things in life. A big fan of her family, her friends, her church, the city of Lorain, and she was an extraordinarily big fan of sports. Nanny enjoyed all sports, but her first love was baseball. Many of her years started with spring training for the Cleveland Indians. She attended about 20 home openers in Old Municipal Stadium, first with her girlfriends, and then with her oldest grandson, and that was me. One of Nanny's prized possessions was an autograph book that was signed by a few pretty good players. You might have heard of some of them before: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Cy Young, Hank Aaron, and others. Nanny was there in person keeping score the last time the Indians won the World Series in 1948. She was also a fan of pro football and saw the Browns win the NFL championship in 1964. So how many people can say that they saw the Indians and the Browns win a championship? And how many people in this room can say that they saw one of these teams win a championship? Nanny loved all sports, but the thing she loved most was supporting and cheering for the young athletes of Lorain. When it came to the young people of Lorain, Nanny was much more than your typical fan. She was a very special supporter of sports, a real contributor who gave something back to the athletes and teams she cheered for. And that's why we're here tonight. Here are some examples of Nanny's service to sports. First, she always made sure the Parabeck kids and their friends and teammates got to and from golf, cheerleading, gymnastics, dance, track, and other sporting events that we were involved in. There were no exceptions, and she always had a smile on her face. From minor league to little league to hot stove baseball, Nanny served as the unofficial official scorekeeper. Sometimes Nanny was the only official scorekeeper for the game. Other times, she was a second unofficial scorekeeper. Her role was to resolve arguments if there were any disputes about the score, and she was always right, even if she wasn't. And no one, I mean no one, ever questioned her decisions. And as an aside, when I was preparing this, I looked at the World Series program where she kept score, and she kept score the official old-fashioned way. A common double play was a DP 6-4-3, and if you struck out looking at a pitch, that was a backwards K. She did it right. Nanny also led the carpool for our teams, and she made sure we got to all the practices and games on time, and she drove us all over Lorain to get us home afterwards. And this is where the first Nanny Mobile, a 1960 Ford Falcon, made its debut. Nanny continued her service and left her mark on church leagues. She was the official scorekeeper for church league softball, wearing her trademark white sun hat. You'll see more of this. In church league basketball, Nanny was also a scorekeeper, but her primary job was to keep the referees in line. And in one of my less than proud moments, I got ejected from a game for arguing with a ref. And as I made my way back to the bench, feeling pretty embarrassed, I heard a commotion behind me, and I turned around and saw a nanny chasing the ref, yelling, "That was a terrible call. You can't eject my grandson." Well, you know what happened next? Nanny got ejected. That might have been the first time in the history of church leagues that a 75-year-old grandmother was ejected from a game. But it shows you that Nanny was always willing to take one for the team. Then came football, and Nanny's support really took off. It all began in junior high school in 1971 and 1972. And I'm looking for Cliff German. Is he in the room at the moment? Cliff was our coach. And some people in this room are going to remember that. But the Irving Vikings won the city championship for the first time in over 30 years. And to put that in perspective, Irving had not won a city championship since before World War II. And Cliff was our coach. About this time, Nanny replaced the Ford Falcon Nanny Mobile with a gold four-door Plymouth Valiant with a black vinyl roof. Every day, 5 or 6 of us would pile into the new Nanny Mobile and make the trek to Lakeview Park from Irving and back for practices and games. So the new Nanny Mobile's odometer was broken in by a junior high school football team. After that, it was on to Lorain High, and Nanny's commitment, dedication, and service to the team, what came to be known as her boys, and some of them are here tonight, it absolutely soared. As a freshman, none of us had our driver's licenses, and to get from Lorain High School to George Daniel Field for practices and games, we had to walk, run, hitchhike, or pile into the Nanny Mobile. So every day, 5 or 6 of us piled in. After dropping us off, Nanny would turn around and make another run. Some coaches, including I think Coach Bauer, have said that we might not have had a freshman football team had Nanny not chauffeured us to and from the stadium. As sophomores on the JV team, we still didn't have our licenses, so once again, it was Nanny to the rescue. After the first trip, she'd turn around and pick up stragglers. And I think one thing is for certain, JV practices would never have started on time without Nanny. We made it to the varsity team, and some of us had licenses, but not many of us had cars. But you know what? It didn't matter. We really didn't care. We preferred the Nanny Mobile. By then, her boys adored her, and we piled in again and again and again. So I got my calculator out a couple days ago to estimate how many trips Nanny made from Lorain High to the stadium, and she made at least 500 round trips. The round trips are 3.2 miles, and that's a total of close to 2,000 miles just up and down Oberlin Avenue. That doesn't include away games, and it doesn't include miles she put on her car for my siblings' sporting activities. But it doesn't end there. Nanny continued to drive the sports carpool even when there were no parebacks on the team. And my brother reminded me that when she dropped us off, grandkids, teammates, Before each practice and game, she always told us, good luck and don't get hurt. During my high school career, we played 33 games, mostly in the Buckeye Conference. The Buckeye Conference included Findlay, Fremont, Sandusky, Marion, and Mansfield. That's a lot more miles on the Nannymobile. No matter how far away we had to travel or how bad the weather, Nanny never missed a single game. She had with her at all times her trusty cowbell, and her service to the team went way beyond being a chauffeur and a scorekeeper and a fan. She really was a role model for all of us, a mentor and a friend. And I think in her own way, she was as much a part of the team as any player or coach. For all of this, Nanny received a very special award from the entire football team at our fall sports banquet. She was given a really nice plaque, and I'm so glad I still have it. And all it says was, "Thank you, Nanny, from your boys, 1975." Hard to believe, 50 years ago. All these years later, when I think of Nanny and sports, I think of sportsmanship, fair play, hard work, teamwork, commitment, enthusiasm, encouragement, positive energy, inspiration, reliability, modesty, kindness, respect, striving to do your best, and love of family, friends, teammates, young people in the community. I didn't make those up. They came from teammates of mine on the football team. These are the ideals of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. That's how Nanny lived her life. And that's what she taught the young athletes of Lorain, including at least 10 current Hall of Famers. Some of them are here tonight, and one new inductee who was almost a part of our family, and that's Tony Flores. So in closing, I would like to share some words about Nanny written by my lifelong friend and teammate in many sports, Randy Green. And Randy's with us tonight. This is what he had to say about Nanny. Due to her unparalleled presence at Lorain sporting events, many people often said that Nanny was Lorain's greatest sports fan. In reality, she was so much more than that, but her unassuming and humble personality would never allow her to seek or attempt to draw attention to herself. Nanny was a passionate supporter of local sports for as long as I can remember, and truly embodies the spirit of sportsmanship and enthusiasm. From cheering at every game, to assisting with the organization of fan events and helping with fundraisers, Nanny demonstrated an unwavering commitment to our local teams and athletes. Her dedication was evident not just in her attendance, but also in her ability to rally others and foster a deep sense of community pride, and support. Whether it was through volunteering at events, helping young athletes, or simply being the loudest cheerleader in the stands, Nanny made an indelible impact on our sports culture. Her enthusiasm and positive energy inspired everyone around her, and has made a significant difference to our local sports scene. So to Lorain Sports Hall of Fame and all of you here tonight, I'd like to sincerely thank you for allowing us to relive fond memories of Nanny and for giving her this very special award. And to Nanny, you taught us lessons for a lifetime, and you're still making an impact on the Lorain sports scene today. We miss you. We love you. We hope you're looking down on us from heaven, ringing your cowbell with a smile. I'd like to share just a few pictures which are highlights. It won't take but a second, but it'll illustrate some of the things that I've talked about. This picture of Nanny was taken from a photograph at one of the church league softball games where she kept score, and that's actually a pencil drawing by one of our church friends. And I think it captures Nanny better than any photograph possibly could. Her kindness, her interest, and her love in sports. This picture I wanted to include because it shows her love of baseball. It shows where it all began, which was Lakeview minor league team back in, I think, 1967 or 68. It was the year that the Nannymobile was introduced, but this picture is special to me because there are two Hall of Fame members in it. One is Larry Flynn, who's here tonight, and the other is Wade LaForce. And what I find interesting, and it shows you how good of athletes they were, they made the Hall of Fame in other sports and not in baseball. Well, there you have it. The Ford Falcon Nanny Mobile on top. And I think the one below is maybe not the official Nanny Mobile, but that's kind of what it looked like after my teenage brothers got through with it. But the Plymouth Valiant, many, many miles, many memories. This is the program from the Lorain High Sports Banquet back in 1975, 50 years ago. That's a picture of Nanny with her boys. You can see me with a lot more hair than I have right now, and next to me is one of my best friends, Pudge O'Connor, who also had a lot more hair back in the day. Again, these are pictures of Nanny with some of her boys. Greg Zelina's in attendance tonight, Wade LaForce, Virgil Williams, 2 Hall of Fame members, and then Coach Doug Thompson, who was our head coach in football and also a Hall of Famer. And that's Nanny with one of the original Hall of Famers, I think 1972, a gentleman named Babe Zinsmeister, which to me illustrates that Nanny had an impact on athletes of all ages. But that was a very special night for my family and for Nanny because we didn't know that she was going to get this award. It was done by my teammates and it was a tremendous surprise. This I wanted to pull up. It was in the journal talking about the sports banquet. And it mentions 2 coaches, Bill Provident and Fred Churchill, as being 2 of the best looking coaches in the state of Ohio. And I guess I wondered, Coach Bauer, why you're not in there. It makes no sense to me. That's a picture of Nanny with my dad, Jim Parabeck. He was a wonderful man. He was also city prosecutor for many, many, many years. And I think he's the reason that Nanny never got a ticket for having too many kids in her car. That's a picture of our family, and to Nanny, everything was about family. Of course, taken at the legendary Easter basket at Lakeview Park. This was in 1980, and this picture to me proves that the big hair music thing in the 80s was started by the Parabeck family in Lorain, especially my sisters. This is a picture of Nanny with some of her mementos from my sports career. I wanted to point that out because the Irving Vikings helmet was a helmet that Wade LaForce wore in junior high school. Not really, it's a leather helmet with no face mask. And this is the last picture. It's the plaque that has been so kindly awarded to my grandmother. Here it is, and again, for this, I can't thank all of you enough. So thank you.
Ring the bell.
Can't ring the bell. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Drew. I do remember that 1975 banquet. It was a special occasion for the team and for the award we gave to the nanny. Now, to get on to the main part of our program, I'd like to welcome our MC for the night, Mr. Jay Ferguson.
Good evening, and obviously if you looked in the program, you saw that Tim Alcorn is listed as the MC. Tim was called away on business for a few days. The first half of his business trip was very successful last night, and we're hoping that the second half tomorrow is the same. But he did send me a text and ask me if I would express his regrets for not being at one of his favorite events. Before we begin, there's a gentleman that's here every year hoping to hear his name called. Mike D'Angelo, hello. Now he's heard it. Once again, it's time to introduce the class of 2025 into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will induct 4 athletes, 2 coaches, a baseball executive, and a team whose achievements led them to greatness and to their honors tonight. All of these inductees have been nominated by the general public. And with that said, we're still missing a lot of great athletes. If you believe that there is someone worthy of being honored, please don't wait for someone else to nominate them. Get on the website, or you can go to Lorain High School to the athletic director's office and nominate them yourself, because we're missing so many. Otis Jenkins, who we said was one of the greatest sprinters in Lorain history. Otis, how many years ago? It seems like it was just within the last 5 years that we got him in the Hall of Fame. So they're out there. I suggest that you read the complete achievements of each inductee in the program, because no matter what it says, everyone is limited to 1 page of 14 font as far as what I can read. Before each inductee gives their acceptance speech, we will call your attention to the video screens, where some very special people in the lives of each inductee will give a personal congratulations. And then following that, I will read a little blurb, and they will give their acceptance speech, and then they will be awarded a pin by someone close to them. So after I introduce them, you will see them receive a lapel pin from a loved one. And now, the reasons we're all here. First off, Amanda Berry, please stand up. This is what's known as a pregnant pause.
Hi, Amanda. This is your old coach congratulating you on being inducted into Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. When you first started playing for me, you were just a shy little 9-year-old on Lorain Youth Baseball's firefighter teams. But I knew even then you were going to be something special. I remember how you would strike fear into the boys in the league when you stepped on the mound. I was fortunate enough to coach and watch you grow and mature for another 7 years, playing on the Lorain Lady Diamonds traveling softball teams. Being left-handed made you a natural at first, and you developed into a real power hitter. I then enjoyed watching you continue your softball career at Youngstown State University, where you had an outstanding 4 years, receiving league recognition every year. This honor tonight is so well-deserved, not only for being a great athlete from Lorain, but for also being an exceptional person and a success in life. Again, congratulations, Mandy.
Straw, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. Who would have thought when we joined the Lady Diamond softball team in 1995 as 14-year-olds how this journey was going to go? Your athletic career has been so successful, and it's the honor of a lifetime to be a part of this day with you. Your toughness, determination, and selflessness are something I will always admire about you, especially how you still display it every day when you put on your sheriff's uniform to protect and serve Lorain County. Congratulations, Straw. Love you, buddy.
Amanda Berry was a tremendous all-around athlete at Lorain Catholic High School, earning 12 varsity letters, 4 in tennis, 4 in basketball, and 4 in softball. Berry played first base, was a 4-time All-County first-team selection in softball, and was a Lorain County Player of the Year her senior season. She played travel summer softball, as was mentioned, for the Lorain Lady Diamonds, which led her to be recruited by the Youngstown State University, where she started all 4 years for the Penguins. In basketball, Amanda played shooting guard on a very talented Lorain Catholic program. In her senior year of basketball, she was All-Ohio Division IV first team. Amanda played both singles and doubles on the tennis team, but it was at softball where Amanda made her name in college at Youngstown State University. She excelled throughout her YSU career as a mainstay in the starting lineup for 4 consecutive seasons and left with her name all over the Penguins record book. She played in 197 games, starting 196. She finished her career as YSU's all-time leader in hits, triples, doubles, RBI, and slugging percentage. As a junior, her performance earned her a host of accolades. Barry was named the Horizon League Most Valuable Player and was a first-team All-Conference honoree. She garnered second-team NFCA Louisville Slugger Great Lakes Region recognition, and was selected to play in the College All-Star Game at the National Pro Softball Festival and received the YSU Female Athlete of the Year Award. She was the first female junior and first softball player to be named YSU's Athlete of the Year. As a senior, she had the best offensive season of her career. Barry played in all 51 games for the 29 and 22 Penguins. She had a career-high .393 batting average with 64 hits and 163 at-bats. Please welcome Amanda Barry to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. But first, I'd like to call on her boss, Sheriff Jack Hall.
All right, she wasn't expecting this, so she's like, what tomfoolery is this all about? So this is very honorable tonight to be up here to be with Amanda on this stage. Due to the fact is that we're here with a Sports Hall of Fame, and being a member of the Sheriff's Office is one enormous team that we have together. Now, we don't have a nanny mobile, but we have a Barry mobile that has a 9-year partner by the name of Max, who Amanda drives around. She's one of our top canine officers in the Sheriff's Office. And we're very proud of all the work that we did. And I think one of your coaches said the boys should be aware when you took the mound. The boys should be aware when Max and Amanda take the road. So with that, and the spirit of this being the Sports Hall of Fame, Amanda, there's something we wanted to do. So gentlemen, behold, since she was in softball, nothing is more fitting than Amanda to have her own baseball card with her and Max that we will be distributing in a few weeks. And Amanda's our first canine officer to be presented our Lorain County Sheriff's Office canine baseball card. So Amanda, thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much for that introduction. Good evening. It's an honor for me to have the opportunity to stand before you tonight representing Lorain Catholic High School and Youngstown State University as an inductee into the 2025 Hall of Fame class. I would like to congratulate my fellow inductees on the achievement. I am truly humbled and blessed to be in this year's class with so many worthy candidates. I would like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee for deeming my athletic career and achievements worthy enough for such an honor. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Lorain Catholic and Youngstown State and their administration, faculty, and staff for the significant role they played in providing me with the education and experience to help me succeed in my professional career. I would like to thank 2 important men in my life who are no longer with us. Both who played a vital role in molding me into a strong, competitive female. My father, Dan Barry, and my brother, Dan Barry Jr. I know they are both looking down tonight, proud of what I've become. I would like to thank my mother, Lynn Barry, for everything. The countless sacrifices you have made for me throughout the years that seemed to be overlooked at the time let me know you stood by every decision I made and encouraged my success. Growing up, Dad was not always around, but you were. Thank you for continuing to show up, for me, and thank you for being my #1 fan. Happy Mother's Day. I love you. I would like to thank my husband, Randy Kubek. Although you may have not been around for my athletic career, you have been my biggest supporter through my professional career. Whatever position I wanted to explore or challenge I wanted to tackle, you stood by my side and jumped on board 100%. Through the stresses of work and ups and downs of life, we have overcome so much together, so thank you for being my biggest supporter. I would like to thank my former teammate and best friend, Lacey Reichert. Growing up together, we competed against each other in high school, played summer travel ball together, both accepted scholarships to play softball at YSU and co-captained a Division I softball program our junior and senior years together. Most of our athletic careers have been spent competing together. If there is anyone that loves to compete and hate to lose more than me, it's her. Till this day, we still team up together to challenge anyone at a game of golf, cornhole, shuffleboard, or even beer pong in the pool while on vacation. So thank you for so many memories. To my friends, family, coaches who pushed me because they saw the potential, teammates, teachers who held me to a higher standard in the classroom, co-workers, bosses, everyone that showed up tonight to help me celebrate this honor, thank you. I grew up a quiet kid with a love of playing ball. From the ball fields of Columbus Park playing Lorain youth baseball, to evolving into a student athlete obtaining 12 varsity letters at Lorain Catholic, to becoming a Hall of Famer at Youngstown State, my life has evolved around competing in athletics. If I was not at a game or practice, I was at home by myself, shooting free throws in the driveway, bouncing a tennis ball off the garage door, fielding my own ground balls, or swinging a bat in the backyard working on mechanics. My love to play the game is what defined me as a person. When I was tasked with compiling a list of my athletic awards and achievements for the committee, I didn't even know where to start. I could not remember very many of my personal accolades received through my athletic career. Reminiscing on my playing days, the things I did remember were the friendships made along the way, the teams that became family. I remember the celebrations after defeating our rivals and the feeling of defeat after a tough loss. I remember what it felt to play my last home game and how it felt to wear the uniform for the last time. And although my athletic career ended over 20 years ago, the uniform I wear today resembles the discipline, work ethic, and teamwork learned from years of competing in athletics. 18 years ago, I found my new team, my family, at the Lorain County Sheriff's Office. And I'm proud to protect and serve the citizens of Lorain County as a deputy sheriff. From the ball fields and courts to patrolling the streets, I am proud to represent Lorain Catholic, Youngstown State, Lorain County Sheriff's Office, and the city I was born and raised in. Thank you.
Our next inductee is a distinguished bowler, and if I can steal a moment of the spotlight away from him, it's for a special recognition. There's a gentleman in the crowd, Mr. Pete Callis. Could you stand up, please? I'd like to recognize you. 90 years young, with 75 years in the Greater Lorain Bowling Association. He is in the Bowling Association Hall of Fame as well as the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. We are grateful that you are here with us. Mr. Joe Dominguez, would you please stand and take a look at the video board?
Hi, Joe. Congratulations on getting inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Very well deserved. And I have to let you know that Patty said you would have bowled a lot better if she would have done the lane conditions for you.
Joe, congratulations on joining us here in the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. It's always great to have a fellow Saint with us. Congrats, brother.
Yeah, Joe, congratulations on an accomplishment that well deserved to the proprietors and bowling all 20 years like the rest of us. And naturally the South Lorain blood came out.
Hey Joe, congratulations on the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. We love you, we congratulate you. Thanks a lot for being our friend.
Go ahead.
Congratulations, Joe, for getting in the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Joe, if you can get a partner, I think Amanda and Lacey are looking for a match. In the Dominguez family, bowling was a sport, the sport. So it was only natural as a 10-year-old boy that Joe would be introduced to the sport by his father. Joe excelled as a junior bowler at North Coast Shoreway Lanes and represented Lorain in the AJBC in the Ohio State Junior Bowling Association from 1981 through 1983. Here he learned great fundamentals that would propel him well into adulthood. In his first year as an adult bowler, he averaged 189. With bowling in his veins, Joe went on to become a Lorain Bowling Association advisor in 1991 and served as executive director from 96 through 99. Joe's achievements over the decades are many. He has achieved 16 800 series in addition to 24 perfect games. He boasts an impressive 204 lifetime average. That's what I hit in Little League. with a high league average of 228. Tournaments were also a place where Joe shined. He was a member of the 2001 LBA City Tournament Team, HCP champions, as well as the doubles actual champion with partner Jeremy Dooley. You'll have to explain what that means. Joe was a member of the LBA actual champion in 2005 and 2006 as well. Joe is also a three-time winner of County Roll-Off Tournament Team. In 2008, Joe was an LBA City Tournament All-Events champion. Finally, Joe was a member of North Coast Shoreway Lanes team that also won an LBA Team Actual title in 2021 and the Ohio US BC Actual State Championships in 2009 and 2013, competing against 1,400 other teams. Joe later became an accomplished coach at Clearview High School from 2016 to 2022. His boys team won division championships in 2018, 19, and 20, and he coached 2 boys and 2 girls to individual state finals. Please welcome Joe Dominguez to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Woo, wow. First of all, I'd like to thank the good Lord for allowing me to be here today. I'm an 11-year cancer survivor. Thank you. Also, excuse me. I would like to thank the committee here at the Hall of Fame induction this evening for nominating my name and voting me in for this prestigious award. There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes for what is put on this evening, and it really is greatly appreciated. I'd also like to congratulate my colleagues tonight that are being inducted also into the Hall of Fame. It's a great honor to be here with all of you, past and present. I wish my parents could be here tonight. Mom and Dad, I miss you. And my sisters, Vita and Vera, God bless you guys. I would also like to thank Mr. Bill Brimke for putting together my credentials and nominating me into the Hall of Fame this year, along with Jesse Hernandez. Jesse's out here somewhere too. That is really greatly appreciated. Happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful mothers out there. If it wasn't for you mothers, man, keeping family unity, where would we be? Thank you to all my family that is here this evening. Got 6 tables here. We got Detroit's represented. Las Vegas is here. And my family that's watching on YouTube out in Nevada, thank you for watching. I'd like to thank all my bowling partners, my bowling family here this evening. You guys are great. The camaraderie that we have in the bowling community is phenomenal. And it just shows right here. I greatly appreciate it. My extended family, the Stafford family, and of course this beautiful lady right here with me, Sheila. Thank you for being here this evening. And my travel partner, Ricky Berry. I apologize for all the snoring I've been doing in the hotel room, all our tournaments that we've been taking, brother. But you want to talk about getting a 60-year-old man excited. When I got this phone call from Jesse back late January, early February, I was working evenings, and he had called me and told me that I was being inducted, and I was like, wow, this is great. And again, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for recognizing bowling this year. Bowling it's in my blood, it's in my veins, it's in all of our veins. Especially if you're a Dominguez, just like they had said earlier. You're born with a bowling ball in your hands. What can I say? When he contacted me, I was just overwhelmed. I'm like, who could I call? Who could I text? You know, it's like late at night right now. But then I remembered my West Coast family's still awake, so I could text them. And then I remembered a lot of my family's retired, so I can still text them. You know, so. And then, you know, us Mexican families, we're big families here, so, you know, I'm like, how are we going to get all of us all together? So we're all texting each other last night. My one cousin, Manuel, he said, hey, are you ready for all of us Mexicans to be here tonight? I said, man, we better be careful. They might put us in the kitchen, you know. And then somebody goes, no, they're going to do us for landscaping. And another one's like, hey, you know, what about security? I go, I think that's what Amanda's here for tonight, so we're all good. Everything's good, okay? But I do want to touch base on a little bit of my family history. I thank the good Lord every day that my grandparents moved here from Guadalajara, Mexico. And my grandparents, my mom's side, moved here from Kentucky. To move to this area and grow up in the city of Lorain was great. I wouldn't trade my childhood of growing up on the south side of Lorain for nothing. The baseball games that we played, Foursquare late at night, growing up in Lorain was phenomenal. And all the high schools, and I loved growing up in Lorain because the high school sports, we all supported each other, whether it was Admiral King going to regionals, Lorain High winning the playoff games in football, or Admiral King going to regionals, which they had, for basketball, they had great basketball teams. And I remember my father talking about sports all the time, and it brought back a memory when you're talking about Mrs. Perovic here. My father was there in '48 for the World Series and in '64 for the football championship. I can't say that, but you know, as far as the Browns, the last time they won it was a year before I was born, so I don't know if I ever see the Browns win anything. I still root for them. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the sports immortality in the city of Lorain, this is the pinnacle for any athlete growing up in the city of Lorain. And to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with some of the other Southview alumni. My two cousins, Rich and Steve, they were inducted back in 2002 with the fast pitch softball team. Also, Jesse Hernandez was just inducted a few years ago. Ricky Keelis, he was inducted, was about 5-6 years ago, Jesse, I think it was. And to even be in with the same category with these guys is phenomenal. Being inducted as a bowler, I can say it's a really great feeling to even be in the same category with a man by the name of Leo Bentley. He was the first person in the world to ever score a perfect series, a 900. It was recorded back here in 1939, right here in Lorain. A lot of people don't know that. It wasn't recognized by the American Bowling Congress or USBC, but he was the first person to ever have a perfect series right here in Lorain County. And being inducted in with Sissy Muskowitz, Jim Catanzarite, who was up there, and of course this great gentleman right here, Pete Collis, who also went to school with my father. Thank you for being here this evening, Pete. God bless you. I will have to say the highlights in my career was winning the state title team event back in 2009 and 2013 with Brett Locher, Brad Sager, Gary Burrs, and Jeremy Dooley. In the year of 2013, I was grateful. I wrote a perfect game that year for a state title, and it helped us win the state title. We beat a team from Dayton back-to-back years. Well, not back-to-back years. We beat them in 2009, then we beat them again in 2013, and just to do that was really great to be from Lorain representing it. But my daughter got to be there present. She got to witness it that year, and that year in 2013, I was in Cincinnati, and Kelsey, who's also a great bowler, and so is my son, obviously. He's got a couple 300s to his credit. Plus, he's got all the pitching records at Clearview High School for baseball. And Kelsey's got all the records for the girls bowling at Clearview also. My 877 series, I was 2 strikes short of a perfect series. I shot that back in 2017 at Spivak Lanes during the 700 tournament. My son got to be present for that. That was a special time also. As far as coaching, it was a short period for 6 years with Sloboda. He is here this evening. And we had a lot of fun coaching. And to even have 4 of our kids make it to the state level to bowl at Wayne Webb Lanes was great. And it still touched me to this day, knowing that we're able to do that with our kids. And I'd also like to give a special thanks to the Redmond family. They gave me my first job back in 1979. I worked for them. I believe they're Patty. Patty, thank you for doing the lanes all these years, by the way, and especially when I shot 300 this past year at City Tournament. And in closing, again, I want to thank everybody for being here. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless all our inductees. Thank you.
As was mentioned earlier, Dr. Jeff Galini was unable to travel to Lorain for this event, but we would still like to show his video. Hopefully he's watching us online.
Greetings from Key West, Florida. If I only had a nickel for every hour I spent in the weight room working out with Jeff Galini, I'd own the house that I'm staying in as opposed to renting the house that I'm staying in. There was a core of us, Jeff, myself, Ray Crone, and I can probably throw Billy Fleming into that mix, who were hardcore weightlifting workout guys through our years at Clearview High School. And we owe that to a dear coach and friend of ours named Marv Hishme. Thank you, Coach, for instilling that work ethic into us and teaching us how to work out. Jeff, you earned everything you got. God bless you. I'm so happy for your induction.
Hey, Jeff. Just wanted to say congratulations. Happy to be your brother-in-law. So happy to see, this honor for you. And I know you're very happy about it, as we are, but it's definitely well deserved, and so happy that we could be here with you.
Hey, Jeff. Nobody's more deserving of this honor than you. You've accomplished so many great things from high school to present day. I'm just so proud of you, and I'm just so proud to be your sister. And congratulations, and I love you.
Hi, Jeffrey. I just wanted to congratulate you
tell you how proud I am of you. I love you, and I hope that you enjoy your special evening. I wish I could be there, but I will see you when you get home.
High school.
Well, hello everyone. Jeff Galini here. Unfortunately, due to a bad sinus infection which affected my inner ear and equilibrium, I was unable to get on an airplane to make it here in person. So with that said, I want to congratulate all the inductees this year. Great job. And I want to thank you, the board, for inducting me. You know, throughout my athletic career, I have achieved a lot of awards, a lot of trophies, a lot of medals, but this honor by far is the greatest achievement in my personal portfolio. So I do really appreciate it. I'm very humbled. You know, being an athlete is something that I think you are born with. I never had a lot of talent, so I always had to work hard. But I really give a lot of credit to my coaches, especially my coaches at Clearview. You know, Coach Wayne Ross, football coach, track coach, really pushed me, would come into the weight room, you know, work with me, allowed me as a freshman to dress during two-a-days with the varsity. So I always have respected, and everything he taught me really has helped me with my long career. Coach Bob Walsh, who was my basketball coach, you know, taught me discipline, taught me how to, you know, not only motivate myself, but motivate my team, be a team player, you know, how to be a captain. Of course, Coach Ishmael, who taught me how to lift weights. You know, I knew nothing about weight training, and he would come in and he showed us how to power lift. He showed us how to lift correctly. And, you know, that has carried through my entire career. Everything I've done really was affected by weight training. And, of course, the late Tom Hoke, who was also a football coach and my freshman coach. Coach Hammond, who had faith in me as a sophomore, allowing me to start varsity. Coach Jones, who would let me come into the gym and play basketball all the time, get me out of class. Funny story there. And all the coaches go on and on and on. Coach Brand, etc. From Clearview. You know, Coach Holman at the College of Worcester, you know, was a great coach, great mentor. And of course, as I went on into my bodybuilding career, mentors such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Platz, Mike Mentzer, list goes on, you know, who really helped to kind of guide me and instruct me. So I really do appreciate this honor. It's much appreciated. And as I said, I'm very, very humbled by it. So thank you very much. And again, congratulations to all the inductees. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but this was the best I can do under the circumstances. Take care, and thank you again. God bless.
Now, if you'll turn to page 20 at your program, gentlemen, take a look at the picture. And I would like every man in this room who looked at that picture and said, if I could look like that for 1 hour, you know who I'd look for? And if you don't stand up, you're lying. Jeff Galini's career began at Clearview High School, as he said, excelling in football, basketball, and track, inducted into the Clearview Hall of Fame. In 1976, he became the first high school athlete to squat 620 pounds, a record that stood until the mid-90s, so almost 20 years. He continued his education and sports career at the College of Worcester, earning 4 varsity letters in football. He later completed a Master of Science and a PhD in chemistry from Wilmington National University. Powerlifting, always a hobby for Jeff. He won many championships throughout the late 70s and early 80s. Galini's bodybuilding career took off in the 80s. He won the 1982 Mr. Lorain Bodybuilding Championship, placed 4th in 1984 NPC LA Bodybuilding Championship. In 1988, he won the California Pro-Am Bodybuilding Championship and earned his pro card. He retired from professional bodybuilding in 1992. In 1985, Galini took his sports fame and his education and founded the All-American Nutritional Supplements Company. In 1992, he expanded his business by founding All-American Pharmaceutical in Billings, Montana. In 2005, he founded EFX Sports, the logo you saw on the screen, a global leader in sports nutrition products. As of 2023, he holds 4 approved patents on supplement formulations and processing techniques. Galini is a prolific author and speaker. He has hosted radio shows, including ESPN EFX Sports radio show, and was featured in the documentary Sups, the movie. Dr. Jeff Galini's legacy includes innovation, dedication, and excellence. He resides in Billings, Montana with his wife, Kim, and their 3 children. His contributions to sports, sports nutrition, research, and community service continue to inspire. Please welcome Dr. Jeff Galini to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Accepting is his sister, Nancy Colasco. Christine Nagy Saladin, please stand and face the video board. Chris, congratulations on this great honor. So well deserved, and what a great inspiration you were to so many at Lorain High. As one of the coaches, I really want to thank you for what you brought to the program, not just your incredible basketball ability, but you served as a role model and a hard worker that the younger players in the program could look up to and model themselves after. For that, I'll always be grateful. Congratulations and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Hello everyone, my name is Beth Brandt. I used to be Beth Nagy, and tonight my little sister, Chris Nagy, is being inducted into the Lorain Hall of Fame. I really wish I could have been there, but I had prior commitments and I was not able to join you tonight, but I wanted to give a special shout out to my sister and give a little small walk down memory lane of why I think she has been inducted into the Lorain Hall of Fame and how she got there. So I'm going to tell 2 little stories. One is when she was very young, probably in, probably junior high, we got a basketball hoop installed on the side of our garage, and we poured a pad, and it was fun as kids shooting around. Well, my sister became obsessed, and she got basketballs for Christmas. She never went anywhere without a basketball. She started shooting baskets all times of day, all times of night, and she would get into this routine where she was just really almost obsessive about shooting and practicing her free throws and all of that. Well, my bedroom was on the back of the house, which was the closest one to the basketball court. So my sister, I'm telling you, would wake up early in the morning, 6 a.m., she'd be out there. She'd be out there all day. She'd be out there at night until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the evening. Well, I finally had to tell my mom to try to limit some of her basketball because she was just always bouncing the ball, and it's pretty hard to sleep when you have the windows open and all you hear is this bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. And her thing was she had to hit 100 free throws in a row before she could stop and go to bed. And at first, it took her a long time, and she worked up to it, but she did eventually hit it, and on a consistent basis too. And it showed in her performance when she got to junior high and then high school and then college, because she was always at the top percentage of free throw. The second one was, my sister's 2 years younger than I am. And so when I was a junior in high school, she was just a freshman, but she was always just so good. So she came in as a freshman, and in every sport, she dominated. She was just always on the varsity team. She was a leader. And specifically in basketball, that was her thing. And that's a little humbling for somebody who's 2 years older. And, you know, so I was trying to be a good sister, but also a little bit jealous because she was so much better than everybody, myself included. Well, one time we went to, I think we got to a tournament where we were going on to the next seed, and our team was pretty good. Well, my sister, since she always had a basketball in her hand, she was always the one to twirl it on your finger, kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. So she would spend hours learning this skill, and she'd, you know, twirl it on her finger and spin it, and then she could hop it from one finger on the right hand to the finger on the left hand and back and forth. And it was kind of a cool little party trick. So we were at this tournament, and we had her doing this as we were waiting to go to our warm-up, and the other team was also waiting to go to their warm-up. And this other team is looking at her like, oh my goodness, you know, look at this girl and her ball handling skills. And a couple of my older teammates and I kind of chuckled, and we said, yeah, we kind of have to make her practice because she's the worst at it. And their eyes got like wide as dynamite. So that was kind of a funny little story. But those two stories kind of tell you why I feel that my sister has gotten to where she is, because in all of her life, especially starting in athletics, she has just had such a drive and such a focus and such a need to perfect her craft. And I'm just so proud of her. If I'm being honest, I kind of knew at some point she would be inducted into the Hall of Fame because she has so many accolades and she's just such a superior athlete, but she's also just such a wonderful person. And I just want to say that I love you, sis, and I'm so proud of you. And the jealousy is almost gone that you're such a better athlete than me, but I really just am very proud of you, and congratulations, and I love you.
I was at that game on the bench. I remember, I can still see it at Westlake High School. One of the most prolific multi-sport athletes ever to come out of Lorain High School, Chris Nagy Saladin's career was filled with honors and awards, as well as teammates and coach recognition. The 1988 Steelman graduate was awarded 12 varsity letters during your time at Lorain High School, including 4 in volleyball, 4 in basketball, 2 each in softball and track. Chris was an outstanding volleyball player at Lorain and was named first team All-County in both her junior and senior years. Chris joined the LHS track team in her junior year, following 2 seasons as a member of the softball team. In track, she was one of only 13 members of the '88 district championship team that was inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame in 2018. Chris set 2 school records that year in the 800 and 1600 meter runs. Did you break your sister's 800 record? Chris' outstanding records in volleyball and track were only eclipsed by her accomplishments on the basketball court. A 4-year starter for Coach Bill Kingsley, she finished her career with 1,617 points, the most in school history at the time. She earned second team All-State in her senior season, as well as Lorain County's Miss Basketball Award. She averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game her senior year. Following graduation, Chris continued her studies and basketball career at the University of Charleston, a highly successful member of the West Virginia Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. While at UC, Chris was named first team All-WVIAC in her senior year. She remains one of 40 players in UC history to score 1,000 or more career points. In her junior year, she was awarded the prestigious Emil S. Liston Award for Academic, Athletic, and Sportsmanship Excellence. Today, Chris and her husband, Chad, reside in Lorain, where she currently serves as a mental health, marriage, and family therapist in private practice. Please welcome Chris Nagy Saladin to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. But to me, you'll always be that girl on the bicycle dribbling the ball around Longfellow Park.
Oh, wow, you're not kidding that video and the tributes are so special and important. And again, thank you to the committee. As everyone else has mentioned, you do an amazing job of putting this together. I really appreciate it. It's such a humbling honor. And congratulations to my fellow inductees. You're all amazing. This has been really remarkable. Brian, for putting all the data together. I think Amanda over there stole my speech because I was going to say something about the fact that it was hard to come up with the accolades and the highlights from our career, because it does come back to the people, the connections, the teammates, and the family, and all the support around us. And I think that's what really stands out. I know I'm not alone in this and thinking about my mom on the eve of Mother's Day, and she's the first person that came to mind when I thought of who I wanted to thank and how, and of course there are too many to thank. But my mom was non-athletic, not an athlete at all, yet she excelled in so many other areas. She was an intellectual, she was a musician, she was very talented in so many areas. And I think that what she really instilled in me and really helped me through is to have that hard work and determination and the characteristics that build leadership. And she showed me that through her activity, and she was a very prominent person in Lorain, so I'm very proud of her for that. I think what she did the most for me too was just to let me be me. I think that one of the things that parents can do is recognize that their children are not here to live up to their expectations of what they want them to do, but to find their own path. And she certainly did that for me. So I'm really thinking about Mom today, and will on tomorrow, of course, too. She's been gone since 2007, but is always, of course, with me. My sister, what a great role model. I mean, look at her. She's beautiful, fantastic. She has every talent in the world. So as much as we had a complex relationship, because we of course had that sibling rivalry and that competitiveness together, we also have been best of friends and really have had a sisterhood. And I'd do anything for her, and I think she feels the same. So really appreciate the comments that she made. Teammates over all the years, just can't say enough about them. I was a freshman playing on varsity for all three sports that I did, and so that made it a little bit awkward because I wasn't playing with my same age peers, and so I had to find friends within the older age groups, and they embraced me. My sister and her friends and the older upperclassmen really took me under their wing. So when Mr. Ferguson, Coach Ferguson mentions me doing that for younger people, I really appreciate that, because that was done for me. So I know how important that is. Like Amanda said, I think of the memories that stand out are the connections and the ways that people were there for me. And what comes to mind are moments that were not necessarily about the accomplishment individually, but about the accomplishments as a team or that unified us. Just as an example, it's mentioned in my biography that I reached the 1,000-point club in my career in basketball. I remember that game so well, but I don't even know when I hit that 1,000-point mark. My coach wasn't one, my college coach wasn't much for individual accolades. So we needed the game. It was a tight game. I think I got it in the first half, but it was just not really a part. We didn't stop play. We just kept playing through. And I knew I was close, but I didn't really know when I was going to get that 1,000th point. But what I remember the most is one of my teammates and also one of my best friends in college, Jan, She grabbed the game ball at the end of the game, stuffed it under her jersey, ran out of there, ran off the court with it, and here it shows up in my travel bag. I didn't even know she stole the game ball for me for my 1,000 points. So things like that really stay with me. I have a lot more stories to tell, but I don't want to make this run too long. I wanted to talk, though, a little bit and hit on the main message of my story. As a mental health therapist, I really understand the importance of love and belonging, and that's something that sports did for me. I was just an obsessive kid, as my sister talked about, obsessive kid, playing basketball and using it to cope, using it to do something active, using it to manage emotions, to connect, to relate, to flirt a little bit, because I didn't know how to do that otherwise. So if I played basketball against guys, at least I could get close to them. So it worked a little bit. And that brings me to the love part. I met my husband because of my basketball playing. We met at the old Miller's Gym in Lorain, working out. And the nice thing is that we were friends for such a length of time. We grew our relationship through playing basketball in those first summers after my senior year. Went away to college and stayed close, but were friends for the first 2 years. That was our relationship. And as that grew, and people who know Chad know that he was a tremendous basketball player. And he's a little bit older than me, so I didn't quite know just how great he was. But those summers that we started to play basketball, at first I thought he was being condescending. He would shoot from off the court, and I'm like, come on, really? You're going to shoot from way back there? I thought he was just trying to be condescending with me, but he was making them. So I now realize that he was also Tom the Bomb, so he was known for his long-distance shooting. Anyway, so love and belongingness is all over the place for the sports and my connections with sports, and certainly appreciate and love everything about my wonderful husband, Chad, that continues to grow through our other pursuits and other things that we enjoy to do together in nature and wildlife, and the falcons that we watch and monitor, and conservation efforts that we try to make. So that's been really important. And in summary, I'm so aware of how it takes a village. It really does take a village for anyone to feel success, anyone to feel like you matter. To feel that connection is so important. And now as a mental health therapist, I have a chance to pass that on sometimes to my individual clients, for people who are struggling. I think we need to remember that people struggle. And if there's any way that we can offer inclusion and connection and closeness and invite people in instead of keeping people out, I think that's really important in the grand scheme of things. And I know it was for me. I know it's something that helped me develop some characteristics that I could carry through and hopefully pass on. And I hope that you all experience that too. And one more thing in closing, I just can't say enough about the coaches and assistant coaches. They were just, once again, always showing compassion and caring. Coach Ferguson wasn't my direct coach, but just always a fantastic guy, just always there for everybody and supporting and affirming them. Coach Falk also, none of these guys were able to be here today besides Coach Ferguson for various reasons, but Coach Robbins in track, just a stand-up guy. Coach Farr in softball, Coach Bennett in University of Charleston basketball, and Coach Lynn Zente. These are role models, family figures, people that really connect the dots for a young teenager trying to figure it out and a young adult trying to figure it out in life, and I really appreciate all of that. So thank you, I appreciate this, and I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
Tony Flores, please stand up and take a look at the video board.
Hey, TK, do you remember Tony Flores?
Tony Flores? No, I can't say that I do.
Well, remember how you always used to give someone some fancy nicknames? You remember
Yeah.
like we had that real rainy day game back behind the stadium?
Oh, yeah. I tell you, that it rained for 3 solid days before that, and the field was just getting totally saturated. And I rode by in my car to look at the field, and there was this great big old coach out there. He must have been 6'20", about 400 pounds, and he's watering the daggone field with a water horse.
You know, that's only going to cause a big mud puddle, right?
Oh, geez, I mean, I tell you, we go and we're playing. We got this little fullback.
Yeah, I remember him.
And I can't really remember his name, but he was back there. He's a tough little guy, and I looked at him, and he takes a shot right straight up the middle, and this big old linebacker, he comes through. He knocks a little fullback probably 10 or 20 yards back.
Where at? Right into that mud puddle?
Right into that mud hole. And I looked at him, and I figured I better go out there and see him, you know. And I'm telling you, Bar, he had mud in his helmet. He had mud on his shoulders. He had mud all down his back. And you know what? He had 2 great big 1-pound patties of mud right on his buttocks. You know that, Bar? On his buttocks, he had 2 great big piles of mud cake. And I'll tell you.
Well, what nickname then did you give him?
Well, you know, the thing of it is, the field itself gave him the nickname. And I call him Mudbone.
Mudbone?
Mudbone. Once a mudbone, always a mudbone.
Well, I'll tell you, T, we can't call him Mudbone anymore. Because, you know, Tony Flores is getting inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so right now, we're going to have to call him Tony Flores.
Tony Flores. I guess I could try to do that, but that's not part of my character.
How do you handle it?
I normally don't. Once you're a mudbone, you are always a mudbone.
Well, I'm going to say right now, congratulations, Tony Mudbone Flores.
T-Bone, you were more than just a cousin to Jay and me. You were our father figure, our hype man, and truly an inspiration to us all. On the tennis court, you loved to be annoying with that slice and dink chip, but truthfully, it taught me patience. I'll never forget my first tournament driving 90 East in GP's Grand Prix. We were so blessed to have you as a mentor and a coach. Tony, thank you for your dedication. Your greatness goes beyond words, but it's your love and guidance that carried us. GP wanted me to tell you, son, you've done well, and we're so proud of you. We love you, Mudbone. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction.
Hi, Tony, my favorite brother, my only brother. Congratulations to you. You have achieved an amazing accomplishment by being inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, which is a testament of your dedication and your hard work. You have been a steady presence in the life of your sisters, children, co-workers, showing immense support and care. You always show up and you never cease to amaze me. You have selflessly mentored and coached many, positively impacting and motivating countless kids, not only in baseball, but also in life. I am so blessed to be your sister. Congratulations to you, my brother, on these remarkable accomplishments. I just want you to know that you have always been a Hall of Famer in my eyes, and you definitely are deserving of this recognition. If Mom were alive, she would be so proud of you. I love you more than you know. Congratulations.
When you take two of the first families of Lorain athletics, you take the Flores family and mix it with the Hartman family, you can't hardly be anything but a Hall of Famer, whether you're a mudbone or not. Tony Flores' athletic career started at Lorain High School in 1976. While at Lorain, he earned 2 varsity letters in both football and baseball. In baseball, he was a starting shortstop on Coach Vic Fariga's 1980 Buckeye Conference Championship team. Tony continued his education at Bowling Green State University, earning a degree in sports management. It was there that he laid the foundation for a stellar career as a professional baseball executive that lasted 13 years. His first assignment was with the St. Petersburg Cardinals of the Class A Florida State League. Starting in 1988 as an administrative assistant, Tony worked his way up to president in 1996. During his tenure, they hosted numerous major events, including the Olympic baseball team training, Baltimore Orioles spring training, ACC college tournaments, and numerous Major League alumni games and events. The St. Petersburg team was purchased in '97 by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time, and Tony served 3 more seasons as the team's general manager and director of spring training. He was the team liaison with the city of St. Petersburg and an integral part in the inaugural season for the new franchise. Tony concluded his baseball executive career in 2001 as general manager of the Auburn, New York Doubledays, a rookie affiliate team of the Toronto Blue Jays. Tony retired from the professional baseball after the 2002 season and has since pursued a career in commercial real estate in New York City and Westchester County, New York. Additionally, he works with his son running a youth baseball instructional academy, Flores Baseball Training, for the last 7 years, and it has become one of the largest programs in the Northeast with over 340 youth. He and his wife, Kate, currently reside in West Orange, New Jersey, and are the proud parents of 2 sons, 2 daughters, as well as 2 grandchildren. Please welcome Mudbone Tony Flores to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much, and just so exciting to be back here in Lorain, seeing so many old friends and family, and videos there with Mr. King and Bauer, just amazing. And Mr. King, he probably was one of the biggest influences in my life, which I'll get into a little bit more. But I'm just so honored to be here and to see some of the people that are inducted with the same class here. I grew up across the street from Kathy. I remember Chris when she was a young girl, and with the Galinis. My cousin had played with him in a couple of the teams over at Clearview. So I just have I have so many awesome memories of coming back to Lorain. As a kid, my mom raised 5 kids. Wasn't always easy. She was a crane operator in the steel mill. So sports were always a big part of my life to keep me occupied and really to kind of serve as what today would be babysitting. But I just had so many good coaches back in those days. So it's friends and family that really, they're the backbone of what really built me in to be the person that I am. And I have so many good memories of, I was at the Clearview State Championship back when they won the basketball with Larry Harris leading that team. I remember Otis Jenkins. I would go to George Daniel and watch those with the county relays. I was at the Lorain Catholic when they lost in their last second against Dayton Roth back in '76. So I just have great memories, and I think it helped me to really establish the backbone of what I did in professional sports. Before I get into a little bit of what I did, I had come from a big family. I think in the city of Lorain, I had 46 first cousins. So most I knew, some I would think that I saw them sometime, but we went to all the different schools in Lorain. Back in the 60s and 70s, there really were some big rivals, and usually during those weeks leading up to the games, the regular hazing would go on, the egg throwing, the throwing tomatoes, toilet papering. Myself and one other gentleman who's recently passed away, he's a fellow Hall of Famer, Rob Livchek. We grew up across the street from Lorain High. At the time, we kind of took it upon ourselves and said, we've got to get out there and we got to defend the school. So what we would do is we'd go down, some of the older people would remember Aquila's store on the corner of 6th and Washington. We would go down there and buy 3, 4, 5 dozen eggs. I think they were like 20 cents, 29 cents a dozen. Back then I was a pretty good tree climber and I had a pretty good aim. And we had our little walkie-talkies, and with the old Lorain High, they had the old glass doors. These kids would come by and they'd throw the eggs, and as we'd see them, I'd be up in a tree. They would come by, I'd get radioed, and I would just throw the eggs and hit these guys. They could never catch us. I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I probably would have got killed by them. But anyhow, it's part of, I think it was things like that really helped us. We just grew up with so many kids that we played with Little League and Class F and on through high school. And again, I think it forged the bonds of friendships and riding in the nanny mobile. The Parabeck family was such a great, they were such a good family to us and for myself. I remember Chris when she was a young girl. My wife, who is just, I just love her to death. She at Longfellow High had a scoring record of 42 points in one game. A couple years later, they said some girl named Chris Nagy comes and breaks that record. So it just shows you the talent that's up here. But it's just exciting to be up here. My wife will tell you, I get so excited to come home every year, and to me, it just it really helped to mold me into the baseball exec that I became. My baseball career started. I went to Lorain High, as they mentioned. I went to community college, and I went on to Bowling Green State University. I got into sport management, and part of being in sport management, I had to do an internship. And it led me, my good friend Rob Livchek, he at the time was playing for the St. Louis Cardinals organization. So I ended up getting an internship there. The following year, as happens in sports a lot, the team was sold, and I was hired on as the first GM of the new owner. I think I was at 26 and probably one of the youngest execs at the time in all of professional baseball. Had a lot to learn, but I worked my tail off, and again, I think some of the things I learned growing up here helped me to do that. I was able to kind of hobnob with all the St. Louis Cardinals, the Bob Gibsons, the Red Shane Deast, so many big names that I grew up idolizing. And even a couple years later, we had hosted the Baltimore Orioles as well. So on one day I'd have Ozzie Smith, the next day I'd have Cal Ripken to be at the ballpark. And growing up as a shortstop, it was like a dream come true. And but it led me to just keep moving up in the organization. I was able to meet so many people and be involved in so many of the alumni association things. St. Pete, Florida was kind of a hub for all of professional sports during spring training. And so it really helped and with some of the people I was able to meet and got me to where, as they mentioned, we hosted the Olympic team in '96. And again, for me, being a sports guy, it just was so exciting for me to be involved in it. And I finished out. I had not too often does a baseball exec in minor league baseball have 4 children and remain married with the amount of hours that you have to put in. But I was able to do that for several years. As my kids got a little bit older, I decided to get out of baseball. And really, I've been out since 2002, but for the last 20-something years, I've been living up near New York City and working in commercial real estate. And as well as I mentioned, my son, who grew up as a young boy with so many future major league players, he played professionally for a couple years and then actually started this baseball academy. So I work a regular job during the day, and in the evenings, probably at least 6 days a week, I go and spend 3 or 4 hours a day. And his age groups that he coaches are from 5 to 16. I do all the 5 to 8-year-old kids. So I have about 40 to 50 kids on a weekly basis that I deal with. It was funny earlier, Kathy's brother Jim came up. And I used to coach Jim back when he was in grade school. He went to school with one of my sisters. This is going to be my 43rd year coaching young kids. But again, I have so many good memories. I remember Jim Popiel with the Jim Allen Sports. You'd wake up in the mornings and want to hear your name on the radio. And there was nothing more exciting than that. But I just had so many great teammates, great coaches. A guy who was, again, I had one of my best friends, Dave Tiller, but his father, Fred Tiller, who was a former minor league player, just encouraged and instilled in me some work values. And even, as I said, in high school, I don't think we realized the actual accomplishments of so many of our coaches. But it's as you get older, you learn it. And as I mentioned, Terry King, he just was one of the biggest influence. He was a guy that could get you to run through a wall if you wanted. But I'm forever grateful and just I'm so excited and to receive this award. So thank you.
There was going to be extra credit if you'd have done your Terry King imitation. I don't believe you. Mike Gallagher is a graduate. Oh, Mike, let's get you standing up and looking at the video board first. I'm sorry. We're getting old.
How do I know Mike Gallagher? Well, we both went to St. Mary's. We both went to the Defiance College. I taught in Sheffield Lake. Mike is from Sheffield Lake. I even counseled Mike about a job opportunity. By the way, Mike, you're welcome. One could almost say that I'm following you. Speaking of welcome, welcome to you, my friend, as you are inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. You are truly deserving. Best wishes, fellow Fighting Irishman and Yellow Jacket.
Mike, looking back as an adult, you think of things from your early childhood that come to mind. Your first teacher, early friends, and in my case, my first coach. That's where Mike made an impact on me. Picture a little lad of all 8 or 9 years old. He surely made memories that I will never forget. I followed Mike's career when he got to Worcester. One day I received a call from Worcester Athletic Director wanting me to start officiating at Worcester High School. I of course accepted. While curiously asking why the call, he proceeded to indicate that Mike was the one who initiated this, and with his help, along with Frank, his longtime assistant, I became a regular in the Ohio Cardinal Conference as an official. Mike's touched so many players' lives at Worcester, which included many conference championships, as well as many district and regional appearances, culminating in 2 Final Four appearances in Columbus. Another treasure was when Mike joined forces with another Worcester legend, Mark Albert, winning an AAU national championship in New Mexico. With all this, I would like to congratulate you, Mike, on his induction to the 55th class of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Mike, you most certainly deserve it.
Hello, my name is Mark Alberts.
And I am Marcy Alberts.
I was the head basketball coach at Worcester High School for 25 years, while Mike was the girls' coach, coached alongside of him, and he became a great friend. He was a tremendous coach, a better friend. We had a great relationship, and Mike and I coached an AAU team in 1992, and he was instrumental in helping us win the 1992 18 and under national championship in Clovis, New Mexico. Marcy was on that team along with Katie Smith, both of them former Ohio State Buckeyes. Mike is a member of the Worcester High School Hall of Fame, the Wayne County Hall of Fame, and the Ohio State Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. He's a great friend, tremendous guy, and much deserving of this honor.
When I played for Galley, we had some great times. We went 92-7, which is a pretty remarkable record for 4 years. We won 3 district championships and then made it to state my senior year, ended up being runner-up to Pickerington, but he led us all the way. I do have to tell one really funny story about Galley. So when I was a freshman, he started me with 4 seniors, and needless to say, I was somewhat dramatic as a 14-year-old, and there was a practice where I refused to shoot the ball, and he and the assistant coach said practice wasn't ending until I took a shot, and being my dramatic self, I launched one from half court. He blew the whistle, and we got to go home. So sorry, Galley, for making us stay a little bit longer that day, but very thankful for everything he did for me for 4 years, and definitely deserving of this honor.
Yeah, I just want to echo that. Galley was a tremendous person, like I've said, tremendous friend, and I just want to say congratulations, Galley. You are much deserving of this honor.
Congrats.
You talk about small worlds. I met Mike Gallagher back in the late 80s or early 90s as I was chauffeuring girls down for Sunday afternoon AAUs and open gyms at Worcester High School. And Marcy Albers was a freshman. Mike Gallagher is a graduate of Lorain St. Mary's High School in 1966. Mike played multiple sports at St. Mary's, earning 2 varsity letters in football and basketball and 3 varsity letters in baseball. After graduation, Mike enrolled at LCCC, excelling on the college tennis team. Mike finished his education by transferring to Defiance College, continuing his skills on the college's tennis team before graduating in '72. After graduating from Defiance, Mike stayed in the Lorain area, coaching many county high schools. His first head coaching job was at South Amherst, where he was the head football coach and assistant girls basketball and track coach. He also coached at Western Reserve High School, his alma mater, Lorain Catholic High School, as well as their fiercest rival, Elyria Catholic High School. At Worcester, he coached both football and golf, and both teams were in the state tournament. He found his niche, however, in coaching varsity girls basketball at Worcester. Worcester competed in the always tough Federal League, and as Marcy mentioned, in a 102-game stretch, his squad had an unbelievable record of 99-3. Many of his players received Division I college scholarships. Among his proudest accomplishments include 12 conference titles in 19 years, multiple regional berths, and 2 state Final Fours. Mike's coaching record was an amazing 416 and 130. Along the way, he was District Coach of the Year 5 times, culminating with the OHSAA Division I Coach of the Year. Mike has been inducted into the Wayne County Hall of Fame, City of Worcester Hall of Fame, Defiance College Alumni Hall of Fame, as well as the OHSAA Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. Mike wishes to convey thanks to his parents, Bernadette and Sylvester, as well as his mentor, his college professor, Randy Buchanan, who were the people who provided him with the strongest support. Please welcome Mike Gallagher into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
This is what I could afford for paper, so. Well, it's come from St. Jude's Hospital, so we're good. And quite honestly, this is the very, very last place I ever expected to be. I thought when we won some games, okay, maybe I got a chance at the Worcester City one. But unlike all of you who are great athletes, and congratulations to all of you, I was not a great athlete. I mean, I thought I was a great athlete, but as I look back at it, and I was thinking about what I was going to say here, I wasn't a great athlete. I was good. I was okay. I could play. But in getting to Lorain St. Mary's, I was a very insecure, small, little boy who was just afraid of everything. I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to Brookside because that's where my friends went. But my mom insisted. She was the Catholic woman of the world. As an aside, she was the first non-nun in America to be able to give communion at church. So she was the Catholic woman. And some of my speech is going to go around that. But starting out with thank yous, the Sports Hall of Fame for this tremendous honor, to Mike Burke for nominating me. You must have seen something somewhere along the line that I never did see, Mike. To Larry Reardon, who was pleading my case, I guess, that get me in here. To some friends, Reese Morgan, Billy Reagan, Billy McPhee, my coach Bill Philbin, and to Mike Burke and John Burke for that real nice page that they put together for this program. I appreciate that. I'd like to thank my wife Shar for being here. She makes me smile on a daily basis. And we've now been married happily for 2 years, which is another long story. It's a Hallmark story if you ever want to hear it. I'd like to thank my friends, Ron and Patty Thompson, for being here. Ron was very instrumental in starting soccer in the county. I'd like to thank my friend Brian Hosier for being here. Brian just recently went into the second time into the Sandusky Hall of Fame. He taught there for 35 years, one school, and coached there for 40. And he just went in with the basketball team. You might have seen it in the paper last week. And I also like to thank my friends, who are also my nephew and niece, Tim and Cindy Gallagher, standing back there. Tim is in the Lorain Sports Bowling Hall of Fame, and was pretty darn good at that. And I guess you guys have some dealings with that. I'd also like to thank some students that are here tonight from South Amherst, when there still was one. I'd like to thank Lorna Ingersoll for being here. She was a student council president, and I was student council advisor because you did whatever you had to do at little schools like that. I'd like to thank Tom Lasecki and Joan Mahalik Hansen from Lorain Catholic for being here, and from Elyria Catholic, Al McKinney, Tim Coy, and Bridget Gigi Byam Novak. And quite honestly, that's the most important, I guess, or most caring part of the reason that I'm enjoying this day is I get to spend this with them. I had a feeling and thought about it for a while, tried to do some math. I think over the course of my 32-year teaching career, I think I taught about 8,000 kids based on what I had. And of those, 5 came tonight. So I don't know if that's a good percentage or not, but I'm happy about that. And I'm going to approach this from a little different direction. I lived a lot by sayings in my life, and I started getting them from my mom, a Catholic woman of the world. And one of the things, and this is kind of a lead up to a Jim Lawhead story, but one of the things is my mom taught me, you know right from wrong, If you're going to do something right, or if you're going to do something, do it right, and do it right the first time. So I was about 10. All the community, we lived in Sheffield Lake, and all the basketball games were in my backyard. And when we had to go in for dinner, that didn't matter. The kids just kept playing. And then I went out after dinner. But first I had to do the dishes. So my brother would wash and I would dry. And so one day that was happening. We washed, we dried, we went outside. And my mom called me back in the house, both of us. And she said, you know, I've taught you how to do the dishes properly. And you didn't. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do the dishes again before you go out. And she opened up the door into the kitchen, and there on the kitchen floor was every pot, pan, knife, fork, spoon, plate, cup, including the good stuff that you only used on Thanksgiving and Christmas. That was all sitting there. And we had to do it all to her okay, I guess, before we didn't get out and play that night. We never got back in the game. But it taught me that you're supposed to do it and you're supposed to do it right. As I look back on some of this, and I went to St. Mary's High School, I'm petrified. I have no formal athletic training at all, other than baseball. Little League baseball, I had that. I could play baseball. I never had played football, any kind of organized, not CYO, not anything. Never basketball, not CYO. We didn't have it. We were too little. But I went out, and as I look back on that part, I'm not sure if I were a coach that I'd have spent any time with me. Here I am, a freshman. I don't know how to play any of these sports. I can run, I can jump, I can catch. But I've got no formal training. At that point in time, I'm 5'6", and maybe 125. Maybe. But maybe not. So I go out for the freshman football team. Jim, this is where you come in. Most of you know Jim Lawhead as a basketball coach. Jim Lawhead was my freshman football coach. And there were 12 of us on the freshman team. And we weren't playing six-man football either. So when the first scrimmage comes along, and like I said, nobody knew me. First scrimmage comes along, and the other 11 guys are on the field, and I'm just kind of standing there next to Mr. Lawhead. And one of the things that I had learned in my going back to the backyard basketball is if we had an odd number of guys playing, then somebody just stood off to the side for a while. And then they came in, and then somebody else stood off to the side for a while. So that's what I know about organized sports. So I'm standing next to Mr. Lawhead for a few minutes, and I think, well, it's about time I go in. So I run on the floor, or on the field, and I said, I'm in. I guess I'm hoping somebody will go out, which big Kevin Craig, we called Surfer. So Surfer goes out of the game, and so now I got to figure out where to line up. Well, I'm lining up at defensive tackle. That's what Surfer played. And I'm 5'6", 125. The guy across from me was a friend of mine who had moved from Sheffield Lake to Avon Lake, Jim Fuller, so that he could play for the great Avon Lake teams. He's about 6'5" and about 250. And I'm kind of sizing up the situation. This isn't going to end well. And so on the very first play, because I know I can't go straight into him, he's going to clobber me. So on the very first play, I kind of zigged in here. I'm going to get away. Well, I zig right into the middle of the line, and that's right where they're running a dive, and I make the tackle. So that's good. But I know Jim's not happy. So the second play, I figure I can't zig in here. So I faked the zig, and I zagged. And they happen to be running a sweep, and I get right behind the pulling guards, and I make the tackle. And now Jim's furious. And in the meantime now, I'm really out of options. All I know is zig and zag. Now I'm just some little kid from Sheffield Lake. I don't know if there's a zeg or a zog or a zug or sometimes Y, maybe another zig, I don't know. But if there is, I don't know them. So I figure I'm going to get clobbered. And Jim's going to do the clobbering. And he did. So I think you call it a pancake. I don't know if you still call it a pancake. Down I go. And then the next play, that same thing happened. I got clobbered. And then the next play, I got clobbered. And I didn't figure, I'm not sure I like football very much at this point in time. And so at that point, Kevin came back in the game, and he sent somebody out, and Kevin went back to tackle, and he said, Mike, you're now a defensive back. So I thought that was much better than where I was. And later, I had heard through Kevin that while he was standing there, Mr. Lawhead, after I made a couple tackles and then got clobbered 3 times, Coach Lawhead said, well, maybe this kid can play a little bit, but we better get him out of there. He's going to get killed. So I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that you saved my life at that point in time. Now, another thing that my mom, the Catholic woman, told me when I became a teacher is that if I could save one kid, that I would go to heaven. Jim, you're going to heaven because you saved my life. You're going straight to heaven. Straight. Anyway, like I said, no formal training and all that stuff. And so a couple of other things that came into my life is when Mr. Bill Philbin became our football coach my senior year. And he said, give the seniors a chance. That was one of the things. I'm going to give you seniors a chance. Which was good because, again, there was another running back that, I know that Bobby McPhee was better than me, and Mike Coughlin, who went on to Northwestern, was certainly better than me, but I was the third one. But there was another running back, Eugene Sweeney, that was probably also better than me, but he was like a sophomore or something, junior, I don't know. So Coach gave me a chance. In the opening game, I have about 10 carries for about 125 yards and 2 scores. And at that point in time, he can't take me out. So I ended up having a good career, but that's because he gave seniors a chance. As I go on to college, Randy Buckman, who was my mentor, who knew when to pat me on the back and when to kick me in the butt, and he was good at it. He said in class one day, this comes from a teaching standpoint, that the kids that I'm going to teach or coach, they deserve the best 45 minutes that you had to give them every day. He said it may be a crummy 45 minutes by your standards, but you got to give them the best you have at that point in time. So some other things that I figured out, even if I don't feel like being a good teacher that day, that they deserve it. I owe it to them. And so those sorts of things kind of stood in my mind. When I first started coaching at Western, John Spear, who was a fraternity brother at Defiance College, wanted me to coach track. I don't know a thing about track. I was a baseball player. But he said, here's the only thing you need to know, Mike. If it's good for kids, do that. Well, I tried to incorporate that then along the way. And then other things that I learned, and obviously there were a lot of things, but from Jim Rattay at Elyria Catholic, and I asked him one day about a responsibility. Who's supposed to do that? I said, you want me to do that? And he made a statement. He said, Mike, if we all do more than our share, we're really only doing our share. He figured out, I guess it would all come out in the wash. So I tried to use that as well. And then Mark Alberts that showed up here, which that was pretty cool. When we coached AAU ball together, and mind you, we had Katie Smith, who was at the time was called an All-American, McDonald's All-American, Player of the Year in the country. She ends up winning like 3 gold medals. She was the leading scorer in the history of the WNBA when she retired. And we had kids like that and other All-Ohio kids. And he would set all these girls down, and he kind of whined and cried when he yelled. He kind of had what the heck are you doing? Anyway, he would say, girls, I'm going to yell at you. And this is what I want you to say when I yell at you. And I'm going to finally say, why am I yelling at you? And you're all going to say in unison, because you love us. So now imagine, high school All-Americans, college All-Americans, pros and stuff, and here we are in a gym, and he would yell, and he said, now why am I yelling at you? And they would all singing in their little girly voices, because you love us. But you know what I learned out of that is if kids know what to expect, they're okay. They can deal with that. Kids are smart, and they can process stuff. And so I thought, all right, as long as the kids know. So I would talk to the kids about this is what expect or require or whatever. Kids didn't mind being coached hard. They just needed to know that you cared. I think if we had more of that in today's world, I think we'd be a whole lot better. Kids would be more prepared to live in the world that we live in. But one of the things that I really learned, which I'm certainly going to use tonight because this is now pretty much over for me, is when you're done with the day, you need to be able to put your head on your pillow and sleep. If you can do that with a good conscience, then life is good. And so thank you to everybody that helped this. Thank you to and congratulations to the inductees. And now I can go home and put my head on my pillow.
Kathy McConnell, up on your feet, as Joe Tate would say.
Hi, Kathy from Huntersville, North Carolina. I'm Kim Uline Ortmeyer, class of 95.
And I'm Carrie Uline, class of 1997. And we just want to say congratulations to Kathy for being inducted into Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Because of your coaching, Kathy, and your love for volleyball that you passed on to all of us, we passed it on to my daughter, Caroline, who's 13.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm an outside hitter. I play for CJV 13 Mizuno, and I love the sport.
Congratulations,
Congrats,
Kathy.
This photo here represents one of my first memories of my Aunt Kathy coaching volleyball. I used to come up to Lorain every summer and attend her volleyball camp at Lorain Catholic. Two of my most proud moments, I remember Kathy's team going to states and going down and getting to watch her and have that opportunity. And then my second moment that I remember the most is when I finally got to coach my high school team, and she was still coaching, and we were able to come up and scrimmage her. And that was a moment that came full circle for me, from her teaching me to now me being able to coach against her or play against her. She was why I played volleyball, and now while I still continue to coach, almost 40 years after going to that first volleyball camp at Lorain Catholic. I just wanted to say thank you for being such a positive role model in my life, and I'm sure for all of those who you have coached in all of those seasons you coached at Lorain Catholic. Very proud of you and very proud to call you my aunt. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night.
Hi, Kathy. I wanted to take a minute to send you a heartfelt congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. This honor is recognition of your exceptional coaching career and the positive impact you've had on the lives of so many young athletes. It's a celebration of your tireless efforts, your remarkable achievements, and your unwavering commitment to the sport we all love. Thank you for being such an inspiring coach and for shaping the person and athlete I am today. I'm forever grateful for the lessons you've imparted. These are lessons that I'm now passing on to my daughter, Madeline, who at age 11 is already in her second year of club volleyball and now shares the same enthusiasm and dedication for the sport. Kathy, congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Hey Kathy, congratulations on your induction to the Lorain Hall of Fame. A lot of great memories associated with volleyball. Started very early playing pickup games at family get-togethers. It was always funny about how I got really competitive really quickly at those get-togethers. I was really enjoyed watching you play at Lorain Catholic and was really proud of you for getting a scholarship to play at Youngstown State. You kindled an interest in the game for me. I've been playing a little over 40 years. as you know, Brennan picked up the game very early in his life, and then has been playing for well over 20 years as well. So thank you for inspiring us to play, and also being a great leader and coach over the years for us and others. And congratulations again on your induction to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you for passing the love of volleyball. Congratulations.
Good evening, Kathy. What a pleasure to see you with the members of your family, friends, and former players at this wonderful banquet. It is truly an honor to congratulate you on your induction into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, as you join the group of Lorain Catholic student athletes, coaches, and teams that have come before you. One of the highlights of my years as athletic director was to observe the development and progress of young women's sports at Lorain Catholic. And you, Kathy, were at the forefront of this success. I recall in the late 80s, we had an opening in volleyball. I had observed your 3 years as the assistant and was duly impressed with your background and ability. You played high school volleyball as a Spartan at LCCC for 2 years and as a starter at Youngstown State your junior and senior years. It was during this time that you refined your craft, so it was natural that we would name you as the head volleyball coach. Your calm demeanor belied your passion, your competitive spirit, and your love of the game. These attributes and your coaching skill resulted in terrific results, including a 26-1 season and a trip to the Ohio Final Four championship game in Dayton in 1994. We honor you, Kathy, and on behalf of the memory of Lorain Catholic High School, we welcome you into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. You certainly deserve it.
This is one of those applications, when it came in, I was stunned that it already hadn't happened, because Lorain Catholic and Kathy McConnell were turning out, it seemed like a Hall of Famer every year for about 10 or 12 years in a row. Kathy's coaching career at Lorain Catholic was a special one, especially because she graduated from Lorain Catholic in 1978 and was able to come back and coach at her alma mater. While a student at Lorain Catholic, she was a 3-year letter winner on the volleyball team, an MVP her senior year, and a 4-year letter winner on the basketball team, as well as MVP her junior year. After graduating from LC, she attended LCCC, and she played on the volleyball team for 2 years and the basketball team for 1 year. Kathy played collegiate volleyball for 2 years at Youngstown State University. What a good night for Penguins. For Kathy, it was a thrill to come back to LCC to help out with the volleyball program. She began coaching the Spartans JV team in 1988 and then became the varsity coach in 91. She was fortunate, although I think that she had a lot to do with, taking over the varsity team at the program at a time when the program was really starting to grow. She coached for 13 years. Her varsity record was 225-88. During her coaching career, her teams won 3 district titles, 1 regional title, and a state runner-up. Her coaching awards include induction into the Lorain County Volleyball Coaches Hall of Fame, District 3 Volleyball Coaches Association Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award, the Ohio Volleyball Coaches Association Achievement Award, Division 4 District 3 Coach of the Year, and Division 4 Plain Dealer Volleyball Coach of the Year. Over her 13 years of coaching, she had the privilege to coach outstanding groups of student athletes. Her players were good team leaders, intelligent, and worked hard in both the classroom and on the volleyball court. The 1994 team in particular was state runner-up with a 26-1 record and was inducted into the Hall of Fame as a team in 2012. Kathy is proud to join several of her players in her 1994 state runner-up team in the Hall of Fame. Please welcome Kathy McConnell to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Try to get my composure here. Those videos were awesome. Thank you to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee. This is truly an honor. Your dedication to promoting sports in the city of Lorain for over 55 years is truly remarkable. I was thrilled to receive a call from a friend, Mr. Ron Feldkamp, about my induction. I'm honored that he walked me through the process, and thank you very much, Mr. Feldkamp. And thank you, Hall of Fame Committee, for bringing so many of my favorite people here into this room tonight. It's truly something special. As I stand here, I'm reminded that achievements are never solitary. They are a result of a collective effort, a shared passion, and mutual respect. The success I experienced coaching volleyball at Lorain Catholic was definitely not solitary. There were so many people who played a role. My approach to coaching was definitely influenced by those who coached me. My oldest sister Jane was my first volleyball coach as a 5th grader at Lorain St. Mary's. I remember Jane had to encourage me to play. I was not familiar with the sport, and I'm really glad she did. I learned from my sister that it's okay to try new things, and I'm so glad I did 25 years later playing volleyball or being involved with the sport of volleyball. My high school volleyball coach and basketball coach at Lorain Catholic was Helen Babbix. Back in the 70s, it wasn't unusual for the girls' phys ed teacher to coach most, if not all, of the girls' sports. And this was the case at Lorain Catholic. God bless Helen Babbix. She not only coached volleyball and basketball, but also softball, tennis, and I think she even helped out with track. A few years out of college, I ran into Helen and was able to tell her how much I appreciated all that she had done for me, as I don't think I thanked her enough as a high school player. I'm also honored to have my volleyball coach from Lorain County Community College here this evening, Mary Gress. Mary, if you would please stand. She's in the back there. Mary started the women's volleyball and softball program at Lorain County Community College in 1976 and was a full-time professor there until 2012, receiving the honor of Professor Emeritus. Mary did a great job bringing together a group of athletes from different parts of Lorain County into a cohesive team unit. Mary, thank you for showing me the importance of coming together as a team and working towards a shared goal. I also have a few of my teammates from Lorain County Community College here with me tonight. We've been friends for, I thought 40 years, but I was corrected, 45 years. They're here with me tonight, Deb Wagner, Michelle Rock-Elwer, and Eileen Hammer. I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight sharing this special evening. When I graduated from college, I wasn't sure where my career path would take me, but I definitely knew I was not done with my involvement in sports. I wanted to coach, and I wanted to coach at Lorain Catholic. So I just needed to figure out how to get Mr. Lawhead to hire me. So I went down to my dad's office in the basement of our house and sat down at his desk. I pulled out a piece of his best stationery. I sat down at his very old typewriter and started pouring my heart out about how I wanted to come back and coach at my alma mater. I sent out the letter to Mr. Lawhead. I think it was 10 pages, single-spaced letter. No, I don't think it was that long, but was it? It might have been. Anyway, Mr. Lawhead was kind enough, gracious to respond to my letter, but stated there weren't any openings at the time. So I did the best next thing and volunteered my time. And Chris Paul, who was the varsity coach at the time, was gracious enough to allow me to come in and kind of weasel my way in at practice. And that kind of got me in the door. About a year or so later, a JV position opened up, and I was able to join the ranks of the Lorain Catholic coaching staff. I was honored to join the legendary coaches of Jim Lawhead, Jim Francis, Ken Pokachar, Jim McCall, and Dave Thomas. I could definitely see that the volleyball program under Chris Paul was beginning to turn around, and the future looked very bright. In fact, there was a popular song around the same time called "The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades." I sung that song a lot when I was thinking about our volleyball program and the possibilities that lie ahead. After 2 years of coaching under Chris Paul, I was awarded the varsity volleyball coach due to Chris being a little busy in that she had given birth to twins. And so began a time period at Lorain Catholic I like to call the golden age of girls' sports. Lorain Catholic had long been known for its boys' sports programs, but now with the influx of outstanding female student athletes to Lorain Catholic, all of the girls' sports programs were ready to rise to new heights. In the case of the volleyball program, it was the perfect scenario of an abundance of outstanding student athletes and a coach who wanted nothing more than to spend time in the gym encouraging their development. From my first year of coaching to my last, I was blessed with young ladies who were smart, athletic, goal-oriented, competitive, disciplined, loyal, and always kept a team-first attitude. It's no wonder today that these same young ladies are so successful in life. They are doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, nurses, hospital presidents, teachers, and yes, volleyball coaches. It also didn't hurt to have 5 of the best volleyball players to ever play in Lorain, or Lorain County for that matter, in Maren Furlick-Weiner, Meredith Furlick-Bingham, Angie Chet Caffarel, Stephanie Bush-Warren, and Holly Kepp, all of whom have been inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Meredith Furlick-Weiner and Meredith Furlick-Bingham are here tonight. Would you please stand? And I know earlier we talked about the importance of families in the lives of athletes, and I tell you, at Lorain Catholic we had some of the best families, very supportive, and really had such an impact, and the young ladies that they brought forth to Lorain Catholic were just super and special. To each and every young lady who played volleyball wearing the scarlet and gray and put forth a Spartan effort, you will always be in my heart, and I share this honor with you. In addition to the great players, I was also blessed with an outstanding coaching staff, and it was a privilege to have some of my former players come back after graduation to coach alongside me. These young ladies shared the same passion I did for Spartan volleyball and were great examples for the next generation of players. Former players who came back to coach at Lorain Catholic are Sherry Kleiner, Carrie Silvasi Jankowski, Jackie Hendel, Angie Chet Caffarel, and here with me tonight, Colleen Burry Ransom, please stand, and Meredith Furlick-Bingham. And one of the nice things about those 2 ladies too, they also brought their boyfriends who are with now their husbands. I'll remember Dan and Jay coming and helping us out with practice, so tell them I said thank you. The 2 junior varsity coaches were not graduates of Lorain Catholic, but earned honorary Spartan status for their role in developing talent, instilling a winning mindset, and their never-ending support of the program. They were Nick Molnar and Eileen Hammer. And Eileen's here this evening. Eileen, please stand. Thank you also to the athletic directors, Jim Lawhead, Jim Francis, and Ann Moore. I so admire you all, and thank you for all your support. A special thank you to Ann Moore, who was invaluable to me on game days, as I'd always be running from work to get to the gym. It was so comforting to know that when I got there, everything was set up and running smoothly. Thank you, Ann, also for chasing me down for about a year and submitting my nomination to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. I think we both realized my induction tonight provided us with one more opportunity to recognize a very special time at Lorain Catholic High School. A final thank you to my 2 best life coaches, my parents, Joseph and Mary Jane McConnell, and to all the McConnell clan. I love you, and thank you for always supporting me. Thank you.
Tony, do we have a video? I'd like to have the members of the 1973 Clearview High School boys track team come forward, please. I can tell you that as a graduate, 1973 graduate of Admiral King, who competed in middle school against these Clippers, this was one of the most impressive groups of athletes that Lorain ever produced. The 1973 Clearview High School track team competed in a time period of rich accomplishment for the school. They followed the 72 football state runner-up team and preceded the 73-74 boys basketball state champions. The 73 track team carved out its own place in history by capturing the state championship as well as regional district and conference titles. The team boasted 3 Lorain Sports Hall of Fame inductees in Otis Jenkins, Larry Fortner, and Larry Harris. The anchor of the team was Jenkins, who finished first at the state meet in the 100, the 200, and second in the long jump. Fortner took home a first in the high jump with a jump of 6.5, which was also a state record at the time. Harris got a 4th in the high jump and was 6th in the 120 high hurdles with a 15.4 time. Rounding out state finishers was Randy DeLugas with a 4th place finish in the 800-yard run. That was even before meters, guys, with a time of 2 minutes and 2/10 seconds. The early to mid-70s was a magical era for the Clearview Clippers and their fans. The 73 boys track team certainly cemented their legacy by winning the state championship. And now please welcome them to their rightful place in the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm back again. I don't think y'all noticed, but when I left the table and made it over here, I was running, y'all. And you know, when you look back over life's journey, I've been asked a question over my life, and I'm speaking for the guys, and you know, but I've been asked a question about when I got out of high school and all the accomplishments that I had made in sports. The question was asked, how come I never made it to the NFL, you know, play pro ball? But I remember I heard something that changed my life, that there was a young girl that was running around looking for a hero, but she couldn't find one. So in the midst of she couldn't find one, so she decided to come to be one. Yeah. And so when I looked at my life, and I began to see people, how they needed to be saved and looking for a preacher. So I made up in my mind to come to be a preacher. But now as I'm a preacher, these guys asked me to get up here and speak for them, to remember back to 1973 when I got up this morning and looked in the refrigerator and forgot what I went in there to look for. Now as a preacher, can I get a witness? Because I'm pretty sure some of y'all look in there and forget also. But you know, as a preacher, I can't forget where I come from. And for the fellas here, thank God for Mr. Ross. thank God for Mr. Walsh, because they were some good coaches, and if it hadn't have been for them, we wouldn't have got where we got to. So could we please give them two gentlemen a hand? And now, with my forgetful self, let me remember my wife over there, because I got to ride home with her, y'all. So I want my wife and my kids to stand. They're over there in that corner over there. Will y'all please stand? And I'm not going to prolong the time, but I was looking at the program. And in that program, I saw a team. There was 21 of us on that team, fellas. Yes, we went down to the state and we did what we did. But ladies and gentlemen, I can't forget the guys that I was on the team with. We all made up a team. It just wasn't Otis Jenkins, Fordner, DeLucas. It was a whole Clearview team that made up the difference. So if y'all don't mind, for the guys that's not here, could you please give them a hand, please? Thank you. Yeah. So on behalf of Clearview Clippers and the guys, we thank you for that inductee. And I think this is my third time I done had a speech, so I'm pretty good at speaking right now. Yeah, so we thank you. May God bless you, and may God keep you is my prayer. Thank you.
Wayne's coming up. Okay.
There you go. Coach Lawhead, good to see you over there. Good to see you, Coach.
There you go, Otis.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Good job, Otis.
It was all on you.
Thank you. Thank you. Randy, Mike at the table.
Thank you. This is our coach, y'all. Give him a hand, Mr. Ross. He was the one that was there. Yes, sir.
Last spring, a young man from Elyria High School won the 100, the 200, and the 400 in the state track meet and won the state title by himself. When I read about that, I thought, he thinks he's Otis Jenkins. So I get a chance to conclude the event and bring up our president, Larry Reardon, for some closing remarks. But I'd like to thank you all who have maintained. Congratulations to all the inductees. And again, if there's someone out there, like I pointed out earlier, Otis didn't get inducted until 2021. And there's still lots of people out there that need to be honored and deserve this. So please visit the website or visit the school, get an application, and nominate somebody deserving. Larry?
Thank you for attending the evening. It was you that made the evening, but basically, I look across the fellow nominees and inductees. This evening wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you, your dedication, your love for the game, your love for the sport, your love for this family, and I'm just so proud to be here. So can we give a round of applause again to everyone? Another thing I'd like to add is I hope Brian, Corey, and Mike Collier do not object, but if anyone would like to attend anything at the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, it's on the west side of Lorain High School. If you need to get a hold of someone to open up the door, you can call Brian, Becca, Mike's secretary, or Mike over at Clearview, and they will get in touch with me, Ron, Tom, anyone. We will be there in a minute. Please, it's a hidden gem. It's deserving, and everyone that was in there or is in there or coming in there, it's one of the greatest facilities you'll ever see. Memories galore. Well, thank you for this evening, and we're going to turn it over to Otis, and he's going to give the closing remarks. Thank you.
Told y'all I was forgetful. I forgot to congratulate all of y'all. Okay, I told you I was forgetful. I think I got something in the refrigerator I got to remember to get when I get home. Well, I hope y'all be all right too. You know, I got to go and do a sermon tomorrow for Mother's Day, so I just want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day. I wish you that, girl. And, you know, I wish my mom could have been here tonight, but about a month ago, my mom passed away. But it was because of my mom is the reason why I'm standing here right now, getting ready to do the closing prayer, because it was my mother that got me on drugs, because every Sunday morning she drugged me to church. Yeah. And so I'm still on those drugs right now. And every Sunday morning I get up and I drug myself to church, and I got to drug myself to church in the morning to do a Mother's Day sermon. So I solicit your prayers. Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come again, Lord, to thank you for what we have seen and what we have heard. And Lord, I thank you for the traveling mercy that you have given all of us, that we got here safely. And I pray that you give us traveling mercy as we leave this place. And when we get home, we still find our home a home of peace. Lord, you've been good to us, and you have brought us all from a mighty long ways. So I stand here right now saying thank you for all that you have done. And I thank you for all that you're going to do. Because right now you are still worthy of all the praise. You are worthy of all the glory and all the honor. You've been good to me, and you have brought me from a mighty long ways. To be able to stand here right now, to tell the world how much I love you and how good you are. So I ask anybody right now, if you don't know Jesus, take the time out to get to know him. He's the greatest friend that you could ever have. This is my prayer. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen, and thank God. Amen.